We also have more of the nuts and bolts part of readings. Once we do a reading, if you want to do a whole entire reading for someone, the best part to start with is with the person itself. We've made it, if you make a connection with someone, so you ask them to say their name, you have a color come up for them, you then put that color on your crown, make a connection to them, feel that connection forming, and then what you would do is you would then bring an image of the person on your reading screen. Once you have the image of the person on your reading screen, you would then explore it, and you would focus on that first, and you would explain everything that person's going through right now. A lot of the times this is just to, kind of let the person know, okay, well, I kind of understand where you are right now, and I understand what you're doing and what you want. Oftentimes, people have questions up front. So what I would do is, in professional readings specifically, I would ask the people if they have something they want to explore. When we do the readings in classes, we don't really do that so much. We really go through the exercises for the week. And if we, like later on, go to volunteers, then the volunteers would really be there, and you would see whatever comes up for them. It would just be exploring whatever you can see, because if once you haven't done so many readings, if you haven't done more than 100 readings, then it is really starts to become a little bit difficult to find things to talk about or find things to see on your reading screen. I think some people are natural at this, so they probably do a lot better. But in general, the more readings you do, the better you get. And if you get past 10 readings, it's really a big step up. And then when you get to 20 or 50, and then when you get past 100 readings, it really becomes pedestrian. Then you really have a good idea about how to structure everything, what you would do, how you would cope with this. So, of course, this is the really beginning stage of it, and we don't expect of anybody to be at this level already. The only way to get there is to do more readings, get more volunteers, make sure that you get as much practice as you can. Practice, practice, practice. That's the real trick behind getting better at any skill. So, all right, so we started with the person. We see what's around them on a reading screen, explain to them where they are, see if there's anything that's relevant or anything that they can understand about themselves that could help them in this moment. We set our intention already for the reading, like we've done in the previous slides. And then now we will build out to things bigger than themselves. Once we bring up the other factors, so this is very much where I would see it in this position, just more upright and then in front of me. So not from the top like this. If you see it from the top like this, absolutely fantastic. All right, so we can go and build it out to external factors. Like I've said right in the beginning of this course, is that it's a good idea to really structure your readings in a certain way, to understand where the past is, where the future is, where different aspects of a person's life is, so that you can go into them in turn. So when you have been asked about people in the person's life, relationships and so on, you can go to people and say, well, is there a person that's there? So you can see what the dynamics between this person and other people are. You can see if there's something specific. You can also go into the future and say, well, sometimes people wonder and they say, well, is there somebody there for me that is more profound? Then you would oftentimes see that person would pop up. We're going to do more timeline-based things in future, but for right now, you can just go and see the people in the person's life, how do they connect with people. You can then have a place for their career, see where they're heading to in their career. You can also have alternatives to their career if they're not happy where they are. Alternatives to career can just be as simple as them not being happy where they work and they want to work somewhere else. What would that opportunity look like? And then you can also look at ancestors or guides, which is more kind of high level. We'll go through that more as well. It's just now kind of an idea of what your reading outline could look like. Once you've gone through everything that you've observed around them, you can then ask questions of them, or you can ask questions of the images that you see, and you can also ask questions of the person in front of you. You can say, well, do you have any questions? And when this could be relevant to what you saw, or this could be something that the sitter had prepared up front, knowing that they would have a reading. They could maybe say, I have this person in my life, and this person is acting very strangely, and I want to understand more about what the dynamics of that strange behavior is. And you could explore that, bring that person up. You can ask for the person's name. You can bring that person into the reading and then explore the dynamics between them. We will go into relationship readings in the second section or second course. So you would go more specifically into that, not really for the purposes of knowing right now exactly how it works, but right now it's just to kind of show you what a reading would look like. And then once we've probed the images and all the rest and answered the questions that they ask us, we can ask if there's follow-up questions. And then once you've dealt with all the questions, you can be done and closed. Just a word of caution, there are certain people out there that have an immense amount of questions. Especially people with air signs, they ask questions non-stop, and if you start to really struggle, just tell them that this is enough, especially if it's a voluntary reading. If you are just doing a reading to practice and you reach the end of what you can do, just tell them, look here, this is how much I have, this is how much I can do, I want to close the reading off. So some people can go up to like 2.5 hours on this. So if you having volunteers, be aware that can happen. If you really want a 2.5 hours practice, it's fine, but it drains you completely. So just be aware of that. And so if you're starting off volunteering for getting people to volunteer for you, if they are people that would ask a lot of questions, even if you don't know, have something planned afterwards, or set a time limit or something so that you can understand, okay, well, when you need to stop. If you're not very busy, like I was at many times, I went to that 2.5 hours. Of course, afterwards you pay the price for it. You're kind of tired. Just make sure you disconnect properly, that you run your energy, that you clear out your space, and that you really get them out of your space afterwards, that they don't become a factor anymore, and that they sit with their questions and give it all back to them. They can go deal with it outside of your space. They mustn't be in your space anymore. Okay, so close the reading off. When you close the reading off, you disconnect from them. You call you back to yourself. Clear everything out from the reading, all the images, everything, clear it out, and then give anything that belongs to them back to them. Contain yourself within yourself, and then afterwards go and do whatever you feel you need to ground yourself more. You can run your energy again, run your tools. You can even do a meditation afterwards if you want. So this is just all to help you to disconnect properly. And that's obviously the best thing that you can do, is make sure that you don't have this effect on, or have this connection anymore after this. I do go through it, and once you disconnect it completely, the person's reading is done, well, then that's it. Okay, and then no more relevance to you from that point on, unless they want to come back at some other time and they want to ask questions again. Okay, so that is very much how the reading outline is. So that would be a way that we would do the readings. I do structure the readings in the classes pretty much like this, and then when we do the final reading for one of these sessions, I normally try and get a volunteer so that you can actually read somebody that you haven't read before, and just to see that you can actually do a reading. And then the structure would be then provided by me, and you'd be able to then practice on that.